Welcome to the Opencast with your host, Justin Henriques. I'm Curate Paterson. Justin, it's always good to be with you.
Curate, it's always great to be with you.
As you know, today's episode is about using podcasting to build entrepreneurial mindsets through the experiences of professionals. Podcasting is a very story-driven medium. Justin, I thought we'd start with your thoughts on why tell stories at all?
It's a great question, Curate. I think, and I know in our own experience, we've seen how powerful stories can be when we use them in the classroom, even more than, the way that we might provide content, quote unquote, to students. Curate, you made the reference to mindsets. When you're trying to teach mindsets, like an entrepreneurial mindset, stories can be this really powerful way to communicate this rich set of information, both about the emotions people were feeling when they were making decisions, to the intent behind those decisions. And we know also that, it can be connected to students, for example, sense of belonging. So when they hear a story that they find compelling from, say, an alumni, and they kind of see themselves in those stories, we know that they can sort of be, that can sort of provide a sense of belonging for the student, especially in the context of our community, when you have that kind of shared story.
What have you found that's so special about podcasts?
Yeah, I think, the moment you mentioned it was often alumni that we'd have come into our classrooms. We saw just how powerful those were for students, and really just a big impact in the way students, learned and processed and reflected on their own journeys. I think for us, getting to podcasting was kind of a natural evolution, if you will. It started from who's nearby, who's available, who can come and share with our students in the context of a classroom. Podcasts are sort of open up the who's available and maybe who's willing as well, where it scales better. You can bring in a sort of a diverse set of voices into the classroom in a way that's kind of challenging to do when it's in just the people that can do it in that time, in that moment. It also scales well in terms of accessibility to students. So the one-off interviews in the classroom, it was really available to the students in the classroom in that moment. And then from a learning perspective, I think podcast lets us in a way that's different when it's sort of a free-form interview, kind of help curate a story that's being shared that's harder to do kind of in a live interview.
For me, the delight has been in refining our skill around the interview, listening better, engaged, listening, if you will, hearing the nuggets, hearing those sparks in the story, finding the arcs in the narrative. To me, it's just made me a better listener. And I hope, it translates both professionally and personally.